You can cost average down. Yeah, I know you paid $79.
I did pay, and I bought 2 sets.
But if you bought 2 of these, then you're in them for $69.
That's true. That's true. And I can stock
Still
up for
price.
more tonight. So this is why I bought them, because when Mike Mizek says this is something that you should probably think about investing in, I listen really closely. So do that right now. Why is this a big deal tonight?
Listen, what's that? Silver. Well, not just money, it's silver. Yeah. Hear the ring? Sound like a bell, because bells have silver in them. That's how they make bells ring so beautifully, is they put some silver in them. There's that beautiful part of that. So here's the deal. They made the Kennedy half dollar, started in 1964, make them till today. The very last Kennedy half dollar that had silver in it was in 1970, okay? In 1970. They didn't have any silver in any Kennedys that were intended for circulation after 1970. These are pre-70. These are the silver Kennedy half dollars. These are the coins that most people don't even know exist. And look at these coins. Not only do you get 10 silver Kennedy half dollars for less than $6 a piece. And it's funny, last night, I sold them last night at the special price break, and I went for less than $8 a piece, because I've sold them so long and sold thousands, tens of thousands of rolls at $79.95. It's ingrained in me, even though I haven't done this in probably 6 or 8 weeks. This is the lowest price by far. By far, this is the lowest price that I have ever been able to sell the 10 coin roll of the silver Kennedy half dollars. And here's what happened, and here's why. Understand, these are numismatic coins. These are brilliant uncirculated, so they have a numismatic or coin collecting component. But primarily, a lot of the value is silver in this. Silver right now is pretty close to a 10-year low. So I was able to take advantage of the low price of silver currently, and the fact that a guy that needed money, because he needed to buy the palladium coins that I think are just about sold out of. And so I was able to buy, there's an entire, when you buy these, you can buy them in bags, okay? An original big canvas cloth bag of these things. There's $500 face value, okay? It's like 55 pounds of these. And he had 30 bags.
Oh my goodness.
30 bags. Well, it's not unusual necessarily for a coin dealer sometimes, but not to sell them at the price that he did. So I bought all 30 bags. So 30 bags is about 6,000 rolls. Well, I debuted these last week. I did these at this. We sold 2,000 rolls, I think, last week in one presentation in about 7 or 8 minutes. Well, they said, okay, well, let's just sell them all. And I said, okay, let's do that.
Why not?
So we have a slightly extended presentation here, which gives me an opportunity to really talk about this. Now, when I talk about these being numismatic coins, here's what I mean by this. So I have a big nationally advertised catalog. People always ask me what this is, and I said, look, when I started collecting coins when I was 12, and a paper boy when I was 12, I could buy coins from this catalog. Right. That's how long they've been around. So they have these coins, these silver Kennedy half dollars, and they range in price from $19.50 to $31.50.
Oh my goodness.
From
so they range in $19.50, so almost $20.
$20 is the lowest price.
To almost $40.
$31.50.
Or $31, I'm sorry, $32, okay.
Yeah. Like this coin right here, this coin right here, $31.50 for this coin. Okay, $19.50, $19.50. So let's take the lowest price, $19.50.
Yeah, be fair.
Times 10.
Be fair, do the lowest price.
Times 10. $195.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're $59.95. So what we're doing is, that's why I keep doing this, okay? Because you're buying these in essence at the silver price, and that brilliant uncirculated price that I'm talking about, that's what you're getting extra on this.
That's great.
And at no additional cost or charge. If we can get in on this. First of all, if you look on the edge of these coins, normally today you see that telltale copper line that's on all coins today. There's not, because there's not.
Right, and silver.
There's no copper in here, right. Brilliant uncirculated. All of these are original, brilliant uncirculated. I show you that so you can see the luster of the coins. See, isn't that spectacular? Every single one of them in that original, brilliant, uncirculated condition that you're gonna have.
You know what was geeky for me? I love the little case they come in.
Sure, well,
I don't know why. It's just the weight of it, when it has all the coins inside it, is amazing, actually. And I actually literally have these two things. I have 2 of them, and they sit on my desk. They just sit there.
And a great paperweight, and it just feels like money. Here you go.
Right.
There you
like,
go.
it's just fabulous. I don't know why, but there's just something about having this sitting there on your desk or as a gift idea or whatever. But it really is tonight beyond spectacular, because when I bought my 2 sets, they were indeed $79. We did not have 2 flex on it, I guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
And so this is where at one point, even if you say, I'm not really into coin collecting, I think you just gotta trust Mike.
But you don't even have to be a coin collector for this. All you have to do is be a silver collector.
Yeah, right,
Because
exactly.
understand you have that silver, intrinsic silver value of these coins that are here like this. And understand, the silver and gold collecting part of coin collecting, particularly silver collecting, I think it's in our DNA.
Why do you think so?
I don't know. There's something about silver and gold, you know, because basically all silver and gold is at the end of the day extraterrestrial. It didn't come from, it came from asteroids and things that hit the Earth in essence.
Right.
So it wasn't naturally occurring in the Earth's crust.
Right.
So we're drawn to that somehow,
Yeah.
you know, you know, mana from the heavens in essence, if you will. And like I said, it's like that. And I think one of the best ways to do this, get a roll of these, particularly if you have kids. I have 2 13-year-old boys. They're tied to their little screens.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so have them, and they're sitting there looking and playing on their screens, and just grab this and just off to the side, do this, and they'll look up just like that.
Right.
They know. So like I said, they're sitting here playing on their screens just like this. Give it one of these. They'll go just like that.
Right.
They know what that sound is. It sounds like a bell, and they just know inherently, like I said, that it's silver, it's collectible, and it's desirable. And like I said, at $5.99 a coin. You have to understand, at $5.99, and look at these. I mean, we have hundreds of these being gone. And because you bought 2 at $79.95.
Yes.
Now let's be fair.
I don't regret that at all.
I've sold these at $99.95. I've sold them at $129, $149. When silver was $50 an ounce, we sold these for $219 for the same 10 coins.
Wow.
It's not like it's up to me. It's up to the price of silver.
Right.
What I have never done before is sold them for $59.95.
This is absolutely the very first time.
This is the very first time that I've done this. Now, that's here. I've been doing this a long time. Now, 23 years ago, these were about $49.95 or $39.95, but silver was $3 an ounce.
Right.
Okay.
It's a lot cheaper.
Okay. Because the numismatic value then took up a bigger thing. Now, silver is way 5 times that. But the price isn't 5 times. The price is only like 20 bucks over. So what the value of this is the fact that at $59.95, this is primarily a silver deal.
Right, right.
But you get that numismatic value that's, like I said, at minimum $19.50
and
per
as high
coin.
as $32.
$31.50, yeah, exactly.
Per coin.
Right.
So you do all the math really quick. You don't do any math at all. You kind of get it, right?
Right, yeah.
And I know we're really, it's like, And
yeah, I don't have to get out the calculator for you. This one's pretty, you know this
clean,
one. Right,
yeah, like for me, and again, I'm not a huge coin collector, although I've now become a coin collector because of Mike and doing these shows. But this is one of those that he looked at me, he's like, And when Mike gives you the look, you listen. I mean, the man's been doing this for a really long time. So I take him very seriously when he really talks about an incredible value. This is beyond what we've done before. This is such just another level of spectacular for these.
Well, like I said, this guy got these 30 bags of coins from. Okay, so I got 30 bags of these original,
you get unusual opportunity buys all the time.
Because and by the way, thank everybody. I would like to thank all of our collectors out there. You're the reason I get the buys, because I've been here and I've sold literally hundreds of millions of dollars worth of coins here at HSN. Right. And so people know who I am, and when they have a big deal, they call me because of you, and I thank you for that, to give me the opportunity for that. So I buy 30 bags of these coins. Well, last week, I just sold them for a few minutes, and we sold about 10 bags. Well, you just saw that we had 500 sold. We're probably pretty close to 600 now. That's 3 more bags in like 4 minutes.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So understand, this deal is really limited, not only because at HSN here, when we do a price break, it's time limited. We only have a price break for so long.
Yes, and it will go back up to the full price.
We'll go back. This will go back to $79.95. Yep. It's time limited. Yep. Okay? It's also quantity limited. Right. So in other words, even if there's time left, but I don't have any quantity, not like I can go make more of these.
Right. Well, it's
the
funny.
government frowns on that.
Like skin.
They frown on that.
Yeah, doing that in your basement at home, not a good thing. But you know what's interesting? It's like if you think about skincare, well, you can always get more skincare. When it comes to coins, you can't. I mean, there are a finite amount of these out there.
I don't think you could even make these in your basement for $5.99. So it wouldn't even behoove you to counterfeit them.
Yeah, don't even bother.
You don't even bother, because I don't think you can do it for $5.99.
That's pretty
now, if you're getting
incredible.
$19.50, you could probably do it for $12 or something. I guess, I don't know.
Not that he's ever contemplated this, U.S. government.
Because what I do, and that's the key, is we get these incredible coins.
Right.
So once again, the original Kennedy half dollars, these are all 50 years old or older, okay? These are all 50 years old. So they're half century old, because we stopped making silver coins 50 years ago, okay? These are the last coins ever made by the United States government that had silver in them.
Right.
Please understand that. Now, not only are they the silver coins, I want to turn this slightly. See how it looks like there's the spokes of a wheel, and I don't want to make you seasick or anything by doing this, but I do that because experienced collectors know and understand and realize that when I do that, that's luster. See, when a coin is struck, you take a planchet. There you go. That's very good. So you see it looks like the spokes of a wheel. So you have a planchet, which is an unstruck coin. When the die hits that coin, the metal flows into the voids of the die, and those create what are called flow lines. And those flow lines reflect light in a very specific way, and it's called luster. And the tiniest bit of even the oils on your hands, if I were to touch this coin, so this coin's not going to be uncirculated, the oils of my hands will destroy that luster. And so when I'm doing this, I'm showing an experienced coin collector, you know what this is? This coin has full and complete original luster. And you can't recreate luster on a coin.
Once
you
it's
can
gone,
make it
gone.
shiny.
Right.
But you can't make it lustrous.
That's
okay?
interesting.
So because once those flow lines are worn off, they don't reflect light that way anymore.
That's fascinating.
And so what you have now is you have these original luster, as you can see, the original uncirculated coins that you have, but you're not paying the uncirculated price. As a matter of fact, as I was looking in the catalog, the not circulated version of these is $12.50. Huh. So, I mean, it's $125 for just circulated, just the silver part of it. We're even half price of that at $5.99. Like I said, I've sold literally thousands and thousands and thousands of these rolls at $79.95. You've bought them.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I've sold them all the time.
I had no hesitation to buy them that night when we last had them on. I was like, yep, I'm in. And I'll tell you right now, if I could get to a computer, I'd be actually stocking up on more of these. I mean, I get the math on this one, and I hope, clearly you guys do too. If you want to get to the front of the line on these, I would highly recommend go to hsn.com. It's easy because it's a couple of clicks. You can get the quantity you want. It's not like we say, oh, you can only get 10 sets of these. You could buy 200 sets of these if you want to right now, but as Mike said, I will guarantee you the price will go up $20. That's because of the price break. The price break is a temporary drop in price, okay? And then it must go back up to $79.95. That's the rules of how we operate. So right now you're getting the lowest price he's ever offered these for. As you said, you've done tens of thousands of rolls of these. We've never had them at $59.95. This is a first. And what's even surprising me more is we have 2 flex.
Yeah.
So normally we don't do a lot of flex on the coin shows, but especially when it's a low priced item. When it's $600, $700, there's no flex on those because we know the collectors are buying. But at $59.95, typically we wouldn't get a flex on that, but we've got 2 tonight.
Yeah, and look at this, about 1,000 rolls gone right now, so that's another 5, 8, 9, 10 bags, 12 bags. So, I mean, this could well be the final and last primetime presentation I'm ever able to do on this, simply because of, you know what I'm saying, how many of these are sold and how quickly these are selling. Now, here's the thing. Now, all of these coins, because these are the original silver Kennedys, are all 50 years old. Okay, at minimum, okay, 50 plus years old. Now, the United States government started in 1997 making presentation silver Kennedy half dollars.
Okay.
But if you look at the prices of those, the lowest price on the silver Kennedy half dollars, and actually, I'm sorry, they started in 92. The lowest price I can find on those is about $41 a coin. Those are for the new ones. Oh okay, goodness. These are the original coins.
Right.
Is ultimately what it comes down to.
And
these are the original
sitting
coins.
In people's pockets. I think that's so important to understand. It's not like something that's been in Grandpa's pocket for the last 3 decades and you've inherited it, right? It's literally been in that bag and in, honestly, this container for 50 years.
That's for 50 years. And to maintain that original luster like that, they can't have been out. They've been in those bags, and that's why they sat in those bags for years and years and years and years, is basically what they did. it. And so it's critical for you to understand that's what your opportunity is to be able to do this. And I know we just have a couple of minutes there. We'll accommodate as many people as is humanly possible on this. Many people buying multiples. I suggest that in a huge, huge way. As well, you can
slow down and say that again.
What? I suggest people buying these in multiples?
In a...
Because...
No, in a huge, huge way.
In a huge, huge way.
Here's the key with Mike. I've worked with this man for so long and I know him so well. When he double says something, like usually he'll say, oh, it's a huge way. But when he double says a word, he's like really trying to give you the wink, wink. Might be a really good idea. You might want to really think about that right now, right?
I agree.
That is your secret code.
That's 100. And if I go triple,
oh boy,
I mean,
if he goes
really,
triple,
really big,
you get as many as you can get.
And that's what people are doing, and I get that. Because once again, let's bottom line this. I got about a minute left, okay? Understand, original 50-year-old silver Kennedy $half. Every one of them, the minimum price in the National Advertised Catalog that I use, if you would buy these individually, is $19.50 a coin. So, because they are brilliant uncirculated coins.
And we are at how many per coin?
$5.99 per coin, because you get 10 coins for $59.95. I've sold many of these over the years from $79 to about $199 to even $219, but I have never, in all of the years that I've been here, in all of the years that I've been doing this, have I ever done $59.95 for the 10 coin roll that you can see right here. As you can see, thousands of these going out the door as well. So look at this. That's 1,100. That's not 1,100 coins. That's 1,100 rolls.
Right.
That means that is 10,000 50-year-old Kennedy $half just went out the door in this show.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So by the time with everybody on the phone and everything, you're looking at somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000. Original, brilliant, uncirculated 50-year-old Kennedy $half are going out the door here. And that's what makes collectibles collectible. Right. Go out and try to find one of these. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You understand? And look.
Well, and here's the thing. I know we got to wrap it up, but guys, think about it. You have until the end of January. So if you're stocking up by line, saying, oh, you know, I want to send it back, you can. That's our extended return policy on this. But here's the time when we have them back in stock to be able to stock up on them at the lowest price we've ever done. So, hey, by the way, our HSN card, I love the fact you can get $20 off whatever you're buying with the card after you apply and you're approved for it. But honestly, that is not the greatest thing about having our HSN card. It's all the things you have access to once you have the card, including special deals it offers. Most of it, we don't even get to talk about it on the air. This is basically all we say about it. So if you'd like to be in kind of that exclusive group, you can go online, you can chat with somebody, you can apply for it, and, well, that first thing you buy with it, you will save $20 off. So, hey, if you get the card now, take another $20 off that set we just talked about, Mike. Then it would be down to 30, isn't that funny?
39,
That's
$4.
awesome.